For believers, resting is worship. And this can be very difficult for us as go getting. We want to do, we want to accomplish, we want to be creative like God is creative, we want to be a blessing like God is a blessing. And we have this thing in our mind that tells us that resting is lazy. Resting is not lazy. In fact, listen to the words of Jeremiah 17, verses 21 and 22. Thus says the Lord, take care for the sake of your lives, and do not bear a burden on the Sabbath day, or bring it in by the gates of Jerusalem, and do not carry a burden out of your houses on the Sabbath, or do any work, but keep the Sabbath day holy as I commanded your fathers. One of the things that we look at sometimes as believers is we look at the command of the Sabbath and we say, all right, well, we're Christians, we're no longer under the law. And so we just have this tendency to throw the baby out with the bathwater and just we don't even know what to do with the Sabbath, what to do with rest. And I want to challenge you that resting is not only commanded as something for you to do, but it's something for your good. God says, for the sake of your lives. Jesus said the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. The reason that God gives us the Sabbath is, yes, to focus on Him, but it's also a holy day of rest. It is an opportunity for us to recoup. People who do not rest are not as productive, are not as valued members of society, do not enjoy the joy of life and the love that they want to experience because it takes a toll to constantly be working. I know this from my own life. Early on in my ministry, I was working 60 to 80 hours a week, often even more than that. And I wound up depleting my adrenal glands and had a forced Sabbath where I wasn't able to drive for 5 months. I had a cyclical migraine for 6 months. Every time I read, the world would just go dizzy on me. And the doctors couldn't figure out what was going on, but I had overworked my body and stressed my body out to such an extent that it stopped working for me. And it required rest to recuperate. And it has required rest to prevent myself from going back into that type of a situation. So, rest, let it be an act of worship. It's not being lazy. Resting is for your good, for your productivity, and for your relationship with God and those around you. God bless.